Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another lesson here with me, Anna English, on English Like a Native. Today we are hot off the press. We're doing a hot off the press episode, which means we're looking at some excerpts from the BBC News articles of today. So today's current news, we're going to choose two extracts. We're going to read them through, pick out some vocabulary which I deem to be a little bit more advanced than what you're probably used to dealing with, depending on your level, of course. And hopefully by doing this, we'll improve our English, take on some more advanced words into our vocabulary, and then we'll read over the article again, where I would like you to listen and repeat all the sentences that I say, so that you can improve your British English pronunciation. Okay, so if you are here, then please do make yourself known by saying hello in the chat room. I do also have my patron room open, so hello patrons. I can only see one of you in at the moment, but hopefully more of you will be joining along the way. Now, to help me to spread the word, because I haven't managed to get the word out to all social platforms this morning, but to help me, it would be great if you could click that share button and share with any social platforms that you may be a part of and with any of your friends who may enjoy learning a little English this morning. So, without further ado, we're going to jump straight in to the first article, which is all about Facebook. They have been in a lot of trouble recently, haven't they? So let's take a look over at that article and see what they have been up to. What have they been doing? So hopefully you can all still hear me all right. I don't think there's going to be any problems with this today, but let's read through this together. Facebook privacy bug affects 14 million users. Oh dear. A software bug meant millions of Facebook users may have unknowingly posted private information to the public, the company has warned. The glitch set a user's post to be shared to everyone, even if a user had previously chosen a more restricted option, such as friends of friends. We'd like to apologise for this mistake, said Erin Egan, Facebook's head of privacy. The glitch was active between the 18th and the 22nd of May, a spokeswoman added, but it took the site until the 27th of May to switch posts back to private, or whatever the user had typically used before the bug became apparent. Facebook said it estimates 14 million people were affected and so has started notifying users. In the meantime, it has reverted the audience for any affected posts to whatever setting the user had selected previously. More mishaps. While relatively minor compared to recent issues facing the company, the glitch is another embarrassing slip-up for a firm already under heavy fire over privacy concerns. Oh dear. Tut tut, Facebook. What are you playing at? Goodness me, it seems like they are always in the news at the moment, doesn't it? Now, I've got a few more patrons in, so I'm going to say a quick hello to my patrons. Hello, Peter. Hello, Aldous. Hello, Eva. It's lovely of you to join me. Thank you so much for being here. I also know right now my baby is awake because he is kicking me so much right now. So he is definitely interested in hearing about today's news and learning some advanced vocabulary because, of course, he doesn't speak English at all at the moment. He doesn't speak any language, but he does enjoy hearing my voice, I think. He tends to wake up when I do my lessons. So it's lovely to have you all here. So that was the article. Now let's look at some specific vocabulary from that article. If there are any words that I don't mention, then please do write it in the comments below. Ask, what does this word mean? If I see the comment, I'll try and help you. And if you see someone else commenting and you feel you can help them, then please do. As a community, we can all help one another, and that's the best way to learn. So, what words have I chosen out? The first one you probably can work out, but it's the word unknowingly. I love this word. It's a long word, and I feel more intelligent when I use it. To be unknowingly doing something, it means you're doing something without knowledge. You don't know you're doing it. So, for example, I might be upsetting you without realizing I'm upsetting you. Maybe I'm doing something that you find quite offensive. Perhaps blue, the colour blue offends you, and I'm wearing a blue dress right now. And I don't realize that it's offensive to you. I love the colour blue. So what I'm doing is unknowingly offending you with my choice of dress for the day. I'm unknowingly offending you. So unknowingly is to do something without awareness. Unknowingly. I'm just going to put it on the screen here so that you can see it. So it's this one, unknowingly. So the next word here is glitch. Great word. Glitch. And a glitch, we normally talk about a glitch in machinery or a glitch within a computer. I often have computer glitches or software glitches. And a glitch is a small problem or fault. You can use glitch in other circumstances as well. So if I have arranged an event and I phone up someone who is a part of that event and say, where is the food, or where are the band, where are the flowers that I ordered for this event, they may return and say, there's been a small glitch. There's been a small problem. Okay, so a glitch, often commonly used when talking about faults with the computer or faults with machinery or software. I sometimes say glitchy. So I'll say my computer's been glitchy recently. So there you go. Glitch. Have you had a glitch recently? Have you had a small problem with your computer? Your phone even. Sometimes phones become glitchy, don't they? You can have a phone glitch. So the next word is the word apparent. Now, I think this is quite an obvious word, but it is rated as a C1 level word. And apparent, if something is apparent, it means it's something you can see. So if someone is very knowledgeable and that when they talk, you can tell that they're knowledgeable. You can tell from their skills that they know what they're doing. You can say, it is very apparent that they know what they're doing. It is very apparent that she knows what she's talking about. So it's obvious. So it's a good interchangeable word with the word obvious. Obvious. Apparent. It's quite apparent. So it's quite obvious. But apparent can also mean to understand, or apparent can also mean to seemingly exist. So you could say, my apparent lack of knowledge, or it's like when you say apparently. Apparently means you don't know if it's true. Apparently. If lots of you said to me, Anna, you don't know what you're talking about, but there's no proof behind that, I would say, oh, my apparent lack of knowledge. This is what people believe is true, but it's not the truth necessarily. My apparent lack of knowledge. It's different. So you have to work it out from the context. It's different to, it was quite apparent that she was knowledgeable. Oh, it's actually a difficult word. I didn't realise how difficult it was until I started explaining it. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. I'll show you the word so you can see it written down. So here you go, the word apparent. To mean that you're able to see it or understand it, or to seemingly be true, or to seemingly exist. Okay, and then we have the word reverted. I nearly didn't include this, but just in case you haven't heard of the word revert or reverted, it means to go back to. So if I make a plan, and my plan is to broadcast live at 12 o'clock, and then I change my mind, I change the plan, and I start broadcasting I want to start broadcasting at 1 o'clock instead. So I say to everyone, change your plan. I'm going to broadcast at 1 o'clock. But then someone tells me that they can't do 1 o'clock, so I have to go back. I have to revert to the original plan. So I'll say to everyone, I'm so sorry. We're reverting to the original plan. I'm going to revert to the original plan. I'm going to go back to 12 o'clock. So the lesson will be at 12 o'clock. Okay, so that's to revert, to go back to. Then we have the wonderful word mishap. Mishap. I love this word. It's a C2 level word and it means an unlucky event or an accident. There's been a mishap. So there's been a little bit of an accident. I often hear this when someone has a problem, a small problem with their wardrobe, their clothing. So if you are at an awards ceremony and you're wearing a beautiful outfit, perhaps a lady's wearing a beautiful dress, and she wins an award and she's asked to go up on the stage to collect her award and give a speech. But as she stands up, her dress at the back is tucked into her knickers. What a disaster. That is a mishap, an embarrassing mishap, a little accident, an unlucky event, because everyone has now just seen her knickers. How embarrassing. Okay, so have you ever been the victim of a mishap? Have you had any mishaps this week so far? I hope not. I hope not. So a mishap, an unlucky event or accident. I'm just going to quickly show you that now so you can see it written down. There you go, a mishap. Then we also have the word slip up, which is kind of similar, but it means to make a mistake. You make a mistake. I had a little slip up. I'm always having little slip-ups. I'm always making mistakes because I'm human. I'm not perfect, not by a long way. And so I always slip up. I often hear this actually, when I think about this particular phrase, I often hear it when I say something I shouldn't have said. You know, if perhaps you have someone over for dinner who's a vegetarian, and you start talking about meat. Oh, this delicious steak. Oh, I like my steak bleeding. I like it rare. And then you realise, oh, I just slipped up. I shouldn't have said that in front of you. You're a vegetarian. I'm sorry if I offended you. Don't mean to upset you or make you feel ill. Or you could forget something. If you were supposed to bring some important paperwork along to a meeting and you forget, and you turn up, you go, oh, I slipped up. I forgot. I made a little mistake. I forgot the paperwork. Okay? And the last phrase I just wanted to bring to your attention is under heavy fire. If you are under heavy fire, it depends on the context, but if it's in a military setting, if we're talking about war or fighting, any kind of conflict, if one side is under heavy fire, then of course it means they're being attacked physically by guns and things. But we often use this in a metaphorical sense to mean that they're under attack with severe criticism. So if someone is criticizing you, then you may be under heavy fire. For example, I recently climbed a mountain while pregnant, and although I took every precaution, and I say time and time again, it's perfectly safe and encouraged for pregnant women to keep exercising, to stay fit and healthy and do the things they've always done, I still came under heavy fire. Lots of people criticized me severely, saying I was putting myself and my baby at risk. So I was under heavy fire. Okay? So have you ever come under heavy fire for any reason? Do write it in the comments box below. By putting these phrases and words into sentences, then you are helping them to go into your long-term memory. So if you do understand it, great, but I would still encourage you to write a sentence now using 1 or 2 or as many of these words as you possibly can. We have unknowingly, glitch, apparent, revert or reverted, mishap, slip up, and under heavy fire. Okay, so quick jump over to my patrons. Hello patrons, hello Peter. You're saying hello everyone. Hope you are all well, thank you. Lots of glitches. Old computer died, all okay now. Goodness me. Yes, we all have glitches with our computers at some point, don't we? So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining me. Wow, I have 203 of you watching. That's lovely. Hello. Where in the world are you right now? If you don't know where I am, I'm in London. I'm sat here in my little office in my flat in London. The weather is mild. It's cloudy, although it looks like the sun may break through, and it's just a generally okay day. Where are you and what's the weather like where you are? You know, we British love to talk about the weather, so indulge me. If you are here for the first time, then please do press that subscribe button and the bell notification button so you don't miss any future lessons. And if you haven't already, please do give this video a thumb up. And it would be lovely if you were able to share this with your friends so we can get those viewer numbers up, and we can encourage more people to take part in this community. So now what we're going to do is a little bit of speaking practice, pronunciation. It doesn't really matter if you're learning British English or American English. If you don't get much speaking practice, then I encourage you to get involved in this exercise because being understood is the most important thing. So whether you're learning British or American, just practicing with me now will help you to pronounce these words close to the correct pronunciation. Okay, so it's really important to be understood. So I'm going to go back now, and what I highlight, I will read, and then I want you to repeat. Okay? All right, let's do this. Here we go. Facebook privacy bug affects 14 million users. Your turn. A software bug meant millions of Facebook users may have unknowingly posted private information to the public, the company has warned. The glitch set a user's post to be shared to everyone, even if a user had previously chosen a more restricted option. Such as friends of friends. We'd like to apologise for this mistake, said Erin Egan, Facebook's head of privacy. The glitch was active between the 18th and the 22nd of May. A spokeswoman added. But it took the site until the 27th of May to switch posts back to private. Or whatever the user had typically used before the bug became apparent. Facebook said it estimates 14 million people were affected. And so has started notifying users. In the meantime, it has reverted the audience for any affected posts to whatever setting the user had selected previously. more mishaps. While relatively minor compared to recent issues facing the company. The glitch is another embarrassing slip-up for a firm already under heavy fire over privacy concerns. Fantastic. I hope you found that helpful. I realised that some of the text was off the screen, but I hope that that didn't hinder you too much. That was a little slip up on my part. So just to recap that vocabulary, we had unknowingly, glitch, apparent, reverted, mishap, slip up, and under heavy fire. Okay, so let me get you guys back on. Hello. Hi. Nice to see you. Okay. Okay, lots of you liking my accent. Thank you so much. That's very kind. I never used to speak like this. I used to have a regional accent, a regional northern accent called a Lancashire accent. And I worked very hard to achieve the standard British English accent, which is closer to an RP sound. Now, if I can do it, you certainly can too. And just a quick note, because I didn't mention it earlier, these notes and the notes from the last 2 versions of this episode, so 3 episodes of Hot Off the Press, if you're interested, the notes are available for a free download from my website. So I've made them available for everyone to download for free. And the link to get those is down in the description box below. But don't go just yet, because we've got more vocabulary to cover. Okay, oh bless you. Hello, Tomek. It's so lovely to see you. You said lovely. It's a sunny day at my place. Thank you so much for that super chat. That's very kind of you. As always, you're very generous. Okay, let's have a quick look at my patrons and your examples. And then we will head over to the next article, which is all about the destructive human beings. Oh, and baby is kicking. Yes, he's excited about that one. He wants to know what's going on. All right, so I've got Aldous says, yesterday I had a slip up. I unknowingly upset someone close to me, and then I was under heavy fire. Fantastic work, Aldous. You've used so much of that vocabulary there. Well done. Vivian, I seem to unknowingly offended my friend by criticising his crush in front of her. Okay, so I seem to have. So remember, if you didn't have this word in, you'd say, I have offended. I have offended. So I seem to have unknowingly offended my friend by criticising his crush in front of her. Okay, yeah, that would work. Vivian, you should always be cautious and be prepared when you go out completely by yourself, such as remembering, bring your wallet, umbrella to prevent mishaps from happening to you, such as bad weather. Okay, so there's a few things missing. You should always be cautious and prepare. So you don't need be there. Take that away. You should always be cautious and prepare, or be prepared. You can use be if you have a D on the end. Be prepared when you go out. I wouldn't use completely. When you go out by yourself. Such as remembering to bring, although I think we should use the word take instead of bring, because you're taking it away. Remember to take your wallet and umbrella to prevent any mishaps. So and any mishaps from happening to you, such as bad weather. Good. Eva, hello. In Austria, we have another hot summer day, but I fear there could be heavy thunderstorms in the evening again. Oh dear. Well, I hope that you're using sun cream if you have a hot sunny day, getting protection from the sun and keeping nice and cool in the shade. Apparently, she is currently in a funk and still trying to recover from the loss of her best friend. You should be more considerate and sensitive. You should be a more considerate and sensitive friend by not bringing up her loss, and try to make and tried to make fun of her. Okay, I'll correct that one at the end, Vivian. That one's a little bit complicated, but I'll do that after the lesson, okay? Peter, this evening in Sydney it's raining heavily and apparently the holiday weekend will be wet and cold. Brrr. I meant to go to a fancy restaurant with my boyfriend, however the weather went bad. Or I would say the weather was bad, not went bad. It was raining cats and dogs, pouring badly with thunder striking the ground. Okay, none of these are using any of the vocabulary from today. I can't see, so I'm going to jump over to the next article. Okay, fantastic. So let's have a read of this article. Please read along with me. And let's just have a look at this. Oh, and bless Justin, thank you so much. Justin has also just dropped a super chat. Let me read it. You said, there's a glitch in the Matrix. Great film. There's a glitch in the Matrix. A great quote that's become a great phrase to use in everyday conversation. Well done. Thank you, and thank you so much for that donation. That's very sweet of you. Just so you know, all donations from my patrons and super chats and one-off donations that do come in as well, they go towards helping this channel to grow. So it helps me to buy new equipment, to upgrade, to keep things running, to pay for the high-speed internet so I can do these lessons, that kind of thing. So all of us are very thankful to those people who do donate on a regular basis, because it really helps all of us. So thank you. Okay, so let's go on to that next article, all about humans and their destructive nature. So, a manifesto to save planet Earth and ourselves. The impacts of human actions on our home planet are now so large that many scientists are declaring a new phase of Earth's history. As scientists, we agree that society has entered a dangerous new time. But what is to be done? We argue that to avoid ever larger environmental changes causing a societal collapse, we need to acknowledge the incredible power that modern society possesses and direct it towards a shift to a new type of society in the 21st century. Our influence is more profound than many of us realize. Globally, human activities move more solid. I'll do that one again. Globally, human activities move more soil, rock, and sediment each year than is transported by all other natural processes combined. The total amount of concrete produced by humans is enough to cover the entire Earth's surface with a layer 2 millimeters thick. Microplastics are found in every ocean. We have to cut down half of Earth's trees, losing 3 trillion, with extinctions becoming commonplace. Wow. Okay. So it's quite heavy going, but it is true, and it's something that I'm certainly very aware of. I try my best to not use the car when I don't have to. I try my best to replace all the single-use plastics that I'm using, so I'm trying to adjust my lifestyle to better aid the planet and be kind to nature. But it's definitely a big talking point, isn't it? Okay, so what we're going to do now is look at some particular vocabulary within that article. And the first one is manifesto. A manifesto. Now, a manifesto is a written statement of the beliefs, aims, and politics of an organization. So if you work in an organization, a big company, that company will probably have a manifesto. So a statement that says who we are, what we believe in, and what we're trying to do. You will often hear about political manifestos. So when you hear about a political party that are trying to run for office, maybe they want to become the governing party. They will push their manifesto. They will tell everyone about their manifesto. This is who we are. This is what we believe. And this is what we're trying to achieve. But manifestos can be used in all sorts of different ways. You might have a personal manifesto. But normally we hear about political manifestos and a company's manifesto, an organization's manifesto. And just so you can see it written down here, manifesto. Okay, the next word you've probably heard before, and it's the word to declare. To declare is very easy. It's like to announce something. You declare it, you announce something clearly, firmly, publicly, or officially. Oh, I haven't made that one bold. There we go. So when you declare, you're just making something very clear. So for example, I might come onto YouTube one day and say, I declare that I am now in love with blue dresses. So it's just stating something officially. I officially declare that I am pregnant. Okay, so it's making an official statement. It's announcing something officially, clearly. Okay, so what have you declared recently? Do you have anything to declare right now? Is there something you want to share with us all? All right, so Sidra says, my results will be declared tomorrow. Oh, your exam results. Good luck. Okay, so the next word I picked out was societal. It's not one you hear often. You probably just hear it in like reports in the newspapers. Societal is anything that relates to or involving society. So societal, it's about society. And society is the combination of people living together. We are a society. Okay, you live within a society. So that's quite simple. We have the word acknowledge. To acknowledge something is to admit or to accept or recognize something. You recognize it to be true. So some people hear something, maybe they even know something in the back of their head, but they won't acknowledge it. They won't accept it. Let me think of an example. So, for example, if I broke up with my boyfriend and my boyfriend was very upset and he just wouldn't accept that I was not in love with him anymore, and he just kept hoping that I would come back one day. He wouldn't move on. He wouldn't stop calling me. He wouldn't stop texting me. You could say he hasn't acknowledged that the relationship is over. He needs to acknowledge that Anna has moved on. Anna doesn't love him anymore. Acknowledge it and get on with your life. Okay, so acknowledging is about accepting, it's about admitting and recognizing that something is true. Okay, so do you acknowledge that? Hopefully you do. I'll show you these words now just so that we don't get too far ahead before I've shared the notes. Here we go. So we have declare, societal and acknowledge, which is a C1 word. Then we have the word possess. This is quite simple, but I thought I'd share it anyway because it is a C1 word. To possess is to have or to own something. So what do you possess? What is your most prized possession? This is something you might hear every now and again. What's your most prized possession? That means what do you prize the most that you own? What do you love? I can't answer that question off the top of my head, actually. What's my most prized possession? I guess, it'd have to be one of my cameras or something. Or perhaps my YouTube silver play button is one of my most prized possessions. It's something I own. It's something I have. So it's a thing, a physical thing. And I prize it. And I possess it. I own it. So it's my prized possession. What is yours? What do you possess that you love? Then we have the word profound. I love this word. Profound. It's a C2 word. And if something is profound, the explanation, let me show you. The explanation says it's felt or experienced very strongly or in an extreme way. So, for example, if you make a really strong statement, if you say something that's very bold and everyone goes, oh, That's so interesting. That's a very strong statement that you've just made. Then you could say that was a profound statement. A profound statement. If you ask a question that makes someone go, wow, that's a very strong and extreme question, you could say it was a profound question. Everyone was gobsmacked by the profound question. Okay? So something that's profound, it means it's strong, it's extreme. You feel it. You feel it in here like, oh, wow, yes. That's a very profound thought. I've had a profound thought. It was a profound play. I felt it. I hear it. I feel it. I experience it strongly. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so then the last one on the list is the word commonplace. Commonplace. And if something is commonplace, it means it happens or it's seen so often that it's not special. It's common. It just means common, really. Commonplace. So you could say a cup of tea in Anna's hand is commonplace. It is very common. And this one says drama queen, because my English mugs are both in the sink. They need washing. I better get on with that after this lesson, I guess. All right, so what's going to happen now is we are going to just recap on that vocabulary. Then we'll head back and do some pronunciation. So we have the words commonplace. We have the word profound, profound, possess. So remember that's a Z sound and this is an S sound. Possess, possess. Acknowledge, to acknowledge something. Societal, to declare something. And manifesto, manifesto. Fabulous. Okay, so I'll just bring you back here very quickly. All right, so hopefully that's all clear. Remember, if there are any words that I haven't mentioned and explained, then please do write them in the comments and I'll try and help you with those. Lots of you are talking about gobsmacked. I mentioned gobsmacked. If you're gobsmacked, it literally means when you open your mouth in shock, and it's like you smack yourself in the mouth because you're like, so it's to be shocked. It's that reaction. I'm shocked. I'm surprised. You're gob smacked, because gob is a kind of crude word for mouth. So you might hear some people saying, shut your gob. It's not a very nice way to say, be quiet, but some people do. The word gobsmacked is not a bad word at all. It's perfectly fine to use that in polite conversation. Oh, bless you, Justin. Just sent another super chat donation. Thank you so much. And you said it's worth pointing out that you can acknowledge something without agreeing with it. Absolutely. So you can accept something. You can say, okay, I understand that. I accept it, but I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I disagree. For example, I acknowledge your point of view, but I disagree. Yeah, that's absolutely right. And thank you for your input there, Justin. That's very helpful. Okay. So, all right, I'm just trying to look at some of your comments very quickly to see if there's anything else that I want to pick up on. Lots of you doing some examples. You all doing it very, very well. Jacqueline says, my prized possession is my shoes. My prized possession is my shoes. You could say my shoe collection, because using is. Otherwise, you'd have to say my prized possessions are my shoes, because shoes is plural. And so is my shoes feels a little weird, but then saying are my shoes also feels a little unusual. So I would say my prized possession is my shoe collection. And that would work really nicely and feel very natural. I declared to watch your live stream YouTube channel. Yes, that kind of works, but I would say something like, I declared to the world, or I declared to my family that I am watching Anna's live stream. Rather than I declared to watch, because you're saying I announced to watch. That to doesn't work. So you were declared to who? Who did you declare to? Hope that makes sense. Okay, someone asking, what is C1 and C2? These little numbers and letters that I put next to some of the words, they are, so your language level is marked by a letter and a number. When you start off in a language, you start at A1. So for example, I'm learning Spanish and my level at the moment is A1, maybe A1 point something. But you move up to, A1, I'm not quite sure how it works, but then you end up C1, C2 is quite high. Much more advanced level, okay? So, and the ones that I have put a little mark against, it's because the dictionary has told me that is marked at that grade, that level, so you know it's a more advanced word, okay? All right, my darlings, let's move on to the pronunciation part. So, are you ready to read with me? Here we go. I'll try not to mess up this time and read it nice and clearly for you. So remember, I'll highlight it, I'll read it, then I'll pause, and you read along after me. A manifesto to save planet Earth and ourselves. Your turn. The impacts of human actions on our home planet are now so large that many scientists are declaring a new phase of Earth's history. As scientists, we agree that society has entered a dangerous new time. But what is to be done? We argue that to avoid ever larger environmental changes, causing a societal collapse, we need to acknowledge the incredible power that modern society possesses. And direct it towards a shift to a new type of society in the 21st century. Our influence is more profound than many of us realize. Globally, human activities move more soil, rock, and sediment each year than is transported by all other natural processes combined. The total amount of concrete produced by humans is enough to cover the entire Earth's surface. With a layer 2 millimeters thick. Microplastics are found in every ocean. We have cut down half of Earth's trees. losing 3 trillion, with extinctions becoming commonplace. Oh no, I realised I didn't show you the writing. Oh dear. Oh, I'm very, very sorry about that. It's because my software shows me a different screen to what you guys are seeing. Was that terrible? Did you really, really struggle to follow along? Should I just do this last bit again? Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I've messed that all up. Okay, let's just do this last bit again. The total amount of concrete produced by humans is enough to cover the entire Earth's surface, with a layer 2 millimeters thick. Microplastics are found in every ocean. We have cut down half of Earth's trees, losing 3 trillion, with extinctions becoming commonplace. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hope that that you weren't just listening all that time without seeing what was on screen. I hope that it was just for a short time. It's very difficult to run everything that's going on and try to read. Some of you may or may not know, and this is not an excuse, but some of you may not know that I'm actually dyslexic, which means that I struggle with text. So I particularly have a problem with sight reading. So when I'm reading out loud, for me, it's very difficult. And when I'm doing it for an audience who are relying on me to be clear and to not make mistakes, then it becomes quite scary. And so what ends up happening is I look very carefully at the sentences and I lose track of the screen that you guys can see. And so although I can see it clearly on my screen, I forget to look over at your screen to make sure you're with me. So I do apologize about that. I will try to be more aware in the future so that doesn't happen again. Okay, yes, I did really mess up. I'm so sorry. Okay, so if you have any questions about anything that we've covered, or you have another question, I will stick with you now for another 5 minutes or so to answer any questions that I can. And if you haven't already, please do give this video a thumb up. Please don't thumb down because of that awful mistake I just made. I also want to say that I released a test, a 2-minute test for the phrasal verbs we did 2 weeks ago. So if you want to check your knowledge, and revision, going back over things, is the best way to keep things in your head. So if you want to revise your knowledge and you have 2 minutes to spare, then do go and have a look at my recent videos. I think it's the last one before this one I released. Test your knowledge. Check out that phrasal verb quiz. It's just a quick one. And if you're not already subscribed, then please do subscribe. And yes, that's all. So now it's time for you to give me your questions. Oh, and after this, don't forget that all these notes are available for this lesson and for the previous 2 lessons from these news type live lessons are available for free download from my website, and the link is down in the description box below here. So you can go and download those for free. That's my little gift to you guys. Of course,